Howdy doody. It's the Howdy Doody Show. So, yesterday I mentioned something about Jesus. He isn't evil. We are him in charge of the evil, is what I meant to say. The evil Zeus, right? So, that's the recompense on our head. Our spirit does it to us. Today I was having trouble this morning again, and I was like, oh God, I got to go shopping here. So, I'm exhausted. I got some video to show. They say asteroids. That's a false directive. That's no asteroid sitting there. Huh. Watch it, man. A group of angels coming out of one star. That's an asteroid? Going into people. When they disappear, those are angels, man. Oh. I hope it shows it. Every time I send you one, I send everybody one. I can't get back into it. I have to send them to Cormac, and I forgot to. It's all good. And there's dark ones that come, and they have a dimmer light. They're orange reddish, and those are the evil ones. All right, so we're on page 221, 35. They're numbered. Each line's numbered. When he will have. Whenever it says when he will have, that means when we will have. If Jesus is going to appear, we are him. It's not Jesus. It's the Son of Man, tells you in the Bible. So, when he will have appeared, O Shem, upon the earth, see, each and every one was talking to his Lord, which is him, himself, Shem. O Shem, upon the earth, in the place which will be called Sodom. That's the whole world. Right now, it's Sodom and Gomorrah. Then safeguard the insight which I have given you, for those whose heart was pure of congregate to you because of the word which you will reveal. You see? You got the word. Yeah, it did that to me too. It does that now. I go to try to get in the one I sent you, and it reverts me to another video. They just don't want me to reveal the truth. See, Jesus is the revealer, but it says here, you will reveal. Okay? Now, the other day I said Jesus is evil. No, I meant I meant the Zeus part of it, the body, the flesh, not Christ, and not Jesus. He wasn't evil when he walked the earth. He had to be pure, right? So I meant to say that he's in charge of it. We are. So for when, see, remember, Logos is a name, a surname. Like Israel is God's children, and Jesus is God's children here on the earth in the flesh. Okay. So for when we appear in the world, dark nature will shake against you. Yeah. Together with the winds and a demon, that they may destroy the insight. Constantly trying to destroy the insight by making you sin and go away. But you can't make me go away. But you proclaim quickly that the Sodomites, your universal teaching, for they are your members, your flesh members. The Sodomites are the flesh members. For the demon of a human form, your flesh, will part of that from that place by my will, since he is ignorant. He will guard this utterance. But the Sodomites, according to the will of majesty, will bear witness to the universal testimony. They will rest with a pure conscience in the place of their repose, which is unbegotten spirit. And these things will happen. Sodom will be burned unjustly by a base nature, by humans. In order that your majesty may reveal that place. Then the demon will part with faith, and he will appear in the four regions of the world. This is what's happening. And when faith appears in last likeness, us, then will her appearance become manifest. For the firstborn is a demon. First Adam, okay? And the second Adam was up there. So this is what I was trying to talk about yesterday. Our Jesus is the flesh, and we are to overcome that flesh. So our flesh is a demon, and that's what I've been calling it for a long time, for years. You live in a demon who will appear in union, and they are converting to Islam. We woke up. You ever see that one, Junior, on TikTok? We woke up. We know you. Yeah, your demon woke up. They're returning to Islam. All sorts of people right now, and that was told that would happen in the end days. That Islam will enter into the house. It doesn't say it like that. The Persians will enter into every house. Why? Because they're Catholics. They're all the false teachers. They're all the everybody. They're in everybody's house. Doesn't mean that. Yeah. And they're all in the houses. The fake Christians, the fake churches, they're in every house. Yesterday, I had someone come over to my house and said she watches, I couldn't believe it. Like, you still watch her, Joyce Meyer? Oh, I watched Joyce Meyer this morning. You're bragging about watching a demon talk about God? I know them. I know their fruits. And I go to bed when she comes over. I go into my bedroom because I just don't want to be around her false prayer. If you were listening to Joyce Meyer when it's time to go home, you're not going home. She is an ultimate false teacher. So nature with many faces in many people. In order that the faith might appear in him, you need it. It builds your faith. When you overcome something, like I had to this morning, It just adds to you. I had to fight a little bit harder than I usually have to for a long time this morning. For when he appears in the world, evil passion will arise, the earthquakes and the wars and the famines and the blasphemies. For because of him, the whole world will be disturbed. For he will seek the power or faith or the light. He will not find it. That's what's going on. They're not going to find it. They're finding demons by converting to Islam. Yes, you did wake up. Your demon woke up. The demon will also appear upon the river, the waters. That river flows. It's a spiritual river. It flows into the ocean, which is wormwood, to baptize an imperfect baptism. Let's go to Islam. Listening to Joyce Meyer is baptizing you with the devil. You're not being baptized by the Holy Spirit. You don't have discernment. You listen to a false teacher. And to trouble the world with the bondage of water of dark spirit. And remember how he said demon? But it is necessary for me to appear in the members of the mind of faith to reveal the great things of my power. I shall separate from the demon who is sawdust, Satan, whatever you want to say. And the light which he possesses from the Spirit I shall mix with my invincible garment. That's what's happening above our head. It can't be penetrable anymore. I mean, you're going to be tested, don't get me wrong, but as long as you don't do the action, it hasn't penetrated you. The action causes a reaction from your spirit, and it'll recompense on you. I shall reveal in the darkness for your sake, and for your sake of your race, which will be protected from the evil darkness. Well, that's why the angels are flying around above our head right now. We need the protection. It's really dark right now. Know, O Shem, that without Elarachos and Amaeos and Strophasus, and I don't know who that is, Strophiasis is shackled, and Shekli and Elanu, no one will be able to pass by the wicked region. For this is my testimony, that in it I have been victorious over the wicked region. The region above you. That's what it's talking about. You've been victorious over the Zeus of Jesus. Jesus ain't evil. We are him. It's our flesh that's evil, and we are the body down here. So that's what I was trying to explain yesterday. I might have not said it right, but we need that. So it actually turns it to good. Okay, so I had to fix that from yesterday. I have taken the light of the Spirit from a frightful water, what I just said, from the dark side. You have taken light of the Spirit from the frightful water. You took back what light has overcome you on your way down. On your ascension of your ball going up is taking back the light on its descent that it lost. Appointed the days of a demon draw near. He who baptize erringly, false teaching. That is, the teaching is supposed to baptize you. The teaching baptizes you. The truth baptizes you. It sets you free, takes you from bondage, fetters, and chains. Now, the one that came to my place saying she's listening to Joyce Meyer, she hasn't even been baptized yet. And she's claiming she's of God. And all the time she's wasting listening to these false teachers and wearing crosses, thinking they're ascending, they have not been baptized. You have to be baptized by the water, word, spirit, wisdom, knowledge, truth. The word. That's what baptizes you. These books. Erringly baptized. You should know that Joyce Meyer's a fake teaching. She's been busted many times. I told her that. And she's still listening to her 5 years later. And then getting up and going to a church this morning to listen to a Joyce Meyer again. You're not taking the evil out of you. And I'm not pointing any names here. Then I shall appear in the baptism of the demon to reveal with the mouth of faith a testimony to those who belong to her. So you know it. That's what it means. You were born in it. You were baptized in a demon. You were born in the water. And all the flesh is a demon. Without knowing and going down that wrong road of false teachers, you'd have never been able to. So what it means is you weren't baptized in it. You heard it, and you were born in it, and you found out the false ones, and you quit listening to them. That's all. With the I shall appear in the baptism of a demon to reveal which mouth of faith and testimony those who belong to her. You see? So that you know what it is. You know their fruits. That's a backwards way of saying you will know them by their fruits. I testify of these spark the unquenchable. They can't quench the thirst. Their thirst is for fire. And they're going to get burnt. And she's unquenchable in the false doctrine. You can't take her out of it. You can't take these people out of the false doctrine. No, because they're going to say, no, yours is the wrong teaching when you're listening to one of the worst teachers in the world. Oisai, the elect of the light of the eye of heaven, and faith of the first and the last, and Sophia, the Sophia and Sophina, and the righteous spark, and the impure light, and you will sing east and west and north and south, upper air and lower air, in the firmament and above, in the clouds and above the clouds, which you are. And the powers of the authorities you are in nature. You could never get rid of it until you die. Then you come uncorruptible. That's why you're going to be tested. It's hooked to you no matter what when you leave. But it doesn't possess you. It has the right to oppose you because it's testing your faith. If you're not opposed by the evil, you can't learn it. You need to learn all the evil that's around you because it's so much. So we had to go down that road. But we're now almost overcome it. And such are for very work in every impure effort of nature. It's a lot of work. You got to fight the natured flesh, the demon you're born into, forever. You will be set free from it, but doesn't mean that it ain't going to test you. It's going to keep testing you because it's still growing your faith. So then I shall come from the demon down into the water in whirlpools of water and flames. There's wormwood. That's wormwood in the Bible. It'll come down and turn the waters bitter. Well, what's that? They're false teaching waters, which the conversation is about. It's about you had to be baptized with the evil so you could take it off and see it and know it. This person doesn't know that she's not even left the first stairwell. Her pearl is still in the mud, and she's doing all this work for nothing. She's, I don't know why, what her intention is, but I can't listen to her. And I got to see her lots. So that is wormwood in the fire of the water in the churches and in TikTok and in YouTube and all around you is got people wormwood. Some of them, like her, she's looks like she's gotten a lot better from when I met her. But all she did was subside the demons. The false teaching will actually subdue them, but not take them out of you. You haven't got them out of you. All you did is stuff them down in you deeper. They'll come up at the very end on most people. That's why they'll die of a heart attack. That's why he says he comes back quicker. There'll be no flesh alive. There's too much falseness around now for people to come into God and expect to find a true teacher right off the bat. It's hard. I shall come up from the water having put on the faith of light. We come out of that water because we know them by their fruits, and it keeps us out of there. Whereas when they're trapped in it and they're in that bitter water thinking it's good, thinking evil's good and good is evil. We will put on the light of faith and the unquenchable fire. That's both. In order that through my help, the power of the Spirit may cross. This is she who has been cast into the world by the winds and the demons, by the spirits and the demons. You got to know them, and they're going to keep crossing you. And the stars, that's where they come from. And in them, every unchastity will be filled. A virgin it has chastity. You haven't split the chastity. They used to make a thing that they'd lock around their vagina. If you're unchastitied, you're not a virgin. And that's what's happening now. They're being filled through false faith. And it's unquenchable. Our thirst will quench when we leave. Theirs won't. They'll be burning. They'll never be quenched. And neither will we while we're on the earth. But when we leave the earth is when we're quenched. That's why we don't get lazy. Finally, O Shem, whenever it says O, and then Shem, that's your circle. Yourself pleasing in the mind of the light. Do not let your mind dealings with the fire. That's what was going on with my mind this morning, and I had to get it out of there. If you keep manifesting it in your mind and you don't cast it down, that's when you got to pray, right? To the Father of fathers. So your mind dealings with the fire, and let the body of darkness, which was unclean, work. Do not. There you go. So if it gets to your mind, you must cast it down. You're not sinning. If you keep manifesting it, you've sinned. So what's he saying? As soon as that starts happening, you have to get to the word. It's the only way. It has to be the truth when you've grown so far. That's why if I go to the Bible, I'll sin. It won't correct it for me. I need the correct truth to stay away from the falseness because it's all around us. Don't do the unclean work. So mine is a self-gratification. I start and I stop. I started this morning and I stopped. And then I just completely stopped. I got it out of there. and I needed to quickly get my grocery shopping done to run to where? He'll give you a way out. What's that? The truth. You need to get to the Word. You need to keep baptizing yourself over and over and over with the Word, not the false baptism with the Culligan bottle in the church and Joyce Meyer and these fake teachings. All you're doing is trapping your light, taking your light out of you. Which these things which I teach you, you are right. This is the Pharisee. For ye did not remember that its form, the firmament, that it is from the firmament. All of them are in the firmament. That your race has been protected. This is from the firmament that your race has been protected. This is your angel, not your body. That's the protection. Elerochios is the name of the great light. Elerochios is the name of the great light. Remember, names don't matter. The place which I've come, the word which has no equal, and the likeness is my honored garment. And darkness, it speaks with the voice of the Spirit, and Strophesia is the blessed glance, which is the Spirit, and Chakria, these are demons, who is a garment or angels, who has come from the astonishment, who was in the cloud of the human, which appeared, they changed it to put a trick in it. Haman, no, human, that should mean human. The cloud of the human, which appeared, is a trimorphic cloud. Triple power, that's all it means, and it's connected all in the clouds. And the Sheka is a garment, which has two forms. He who was in the cloud of silence, and Chekla is the garment which was given from every region. It was given him a single form from the greatness. He who was in the cloud, in the middle region. They use clouds. They use clouds for cover. Angels do. And the star of the light, which was mentioned, is my invincible garment. It can't be destroyed. Which I wore in Hades. This, the star of light, which is the bright morning star, it's the same thing. The star of light in the mercy, which surpasses the mind and the testimony of those who bear witness. You must bear witness. You got to bear to the evil witness of what you've done and to what the good, that's the witness and testimony you must keep and you must share. We all bear witness, whether you're good or evil. And the testimony which has been mentioned, the first and the last, faith, the mind of the wind of darkness, and Sophia and the Sophenia are in the clouds of those who have been separated from the chaotic fire. Separating from darkness. You have to know the darkness and go through much for the whole life, going through until you're fully separated. And when you die, then you're fully separated. but you'll almost overcome it all. You will probably. So, and the righteous spark is in the cloud of light, which has shone in your midst, in the middle. For in the cloud of light, my garment will go down to chaos. Your angel, that's what they're doing now. They're down here filling people full of light. I showed you the video of that from the start. But the impure light which appeared in the darkness and which belongs to dark nature is a power and the upper air and the lower air, the air you breathe. The lower air is people walking. Okay. And I had a video of the darker ones splitting off like the good ones are. They go in groups. And they come down in one because that's this realm that they're in. That's the ones that have fathered them. All of them are on the tree up there in the real tree in the heaven of heavens. And when they come down, they disperse all the ones that are in that group to give them the spirit so they keep moving in the power of the Lord. In the air, the powers of the authorities, the demons are the stars. They call them meteorites. I just showed you. They come and they sit there and they spread out and go into what flesh that's already owned by them. Okay. The demons and the stars, these possess. The authorities, the demons and the stars, these possess a great, a huge. I don't know. There's a missing word. Of fire and light from the Spirit. And they call this the clouds. Mung Lachas is a wind, for without nothing is brought forth upon the earth. He has a likeness of a serpent and a unicorn. Who's that? He's on the coat of arms. It's talking about the king. Marmar was teaching that the Antichrist is Obama. You got the spirit, buds. It's in the books. The unicorn is on the coat of arms of Prince William. And it's in a book of the legends of the Jews where it tells you that that's Satan. He's not a two-horned man like they try to show you. As a matter of fact, he doesn't have any horns. That's a spiritual horn they're talking about. And it goes on top of their head. The serpent's like a unicorn. It's right on the coat of arms, a fallen angel unicorn. And you're going out preaching that Obama is, you're misguiding Marmar. His protrusions are manifold wings, and a reminder is the womb which has been disturbed. You are blessed, Shem, for your race has been protected from the dark wind which many faced. You've been protected before you came down. You can never lose your salvation. You've been protected the whole time and you didn't even know it. And which is many faced. That's all of us. Many faces, many people. And they will bear witness to the universal testimony and the impure practice of faith. That's what's going on. It's a false faith. And they're telling you that the impure practice of faith is a phony faith. You don't have faith It has to be the faith in the truth. If you're listening to someone lying to you, you have no faith. That's why he says there'll be no faith in that time when we return, the Son of Men. That's us. Where's the faith? Where's the hope? Same thing. It's a false hope and a false faith. And they believe it is directing them the way, but yet they're on the wrong path, acting like they're good. What happens behind the scenes? I can't tell you that. And they will become high-minded through the reminder of the light. O Shem, no one who wears the body will be able to complete these things. And this is what they do. How? Because they were taught the earth was made by the Father of the heavens, the heavenly heaven Father. I am. They were taught that the flesh was made by him. They think the likeness is the flesh. You see, they keep worshiping the world and flesh. They've been tricked from a long time ago. They've never gotten out of their flesh. Listening to someone like Joyce Meyer, you don't understand that you're supposed to separate yourself from people like that. It'd be better off hanging out with your evil friends, which I do because sometimes I have no choice. But they don't bug me, and I don't teach the word to them, and I stay in my own. So I'll be going to visit one that loves me very much. They end up missing me. All the people that kicked me out of their life are starting to call me back. Like my ex called me back. And my friend I've known since I was 9, 44 years, wants me to come visit him. And he loves me and he misses me. He's like, bro, I really love you, man. And I know he does. Evil can love as well. They have some goodness in them. Just because they're evil doesn't mean they don't love their children. Just me and you today, Junior. It's good, though. I don't care. These things, but through remembrance, he will be able to grasp them in order that when his mind separates from the body, that these things may be revealed to him. They have been revealed to your race, O Shem. It is difficult for someone wearing a body to complete these things. You see, they believe in the Father created their body. Well, first of all, how come you don't know it says man is beast 14 times in your Bible? Why? They don't even understand their Bible. By listening to false doctrine, whatever truth you have is going to be taken away. It's going to mess it up because when it mingles with it, you're not going to believe anything that anybody says eventually. Then you're not even going to understand these books. That's why they're made to be hard, but they're actually not hard. You can't wear the body or the earth, this earth. You have to come out of it. They haven't even, these Christians haven't even, they've been washed by a Culligan bottle and by false doctrine, baptized by a demon, by wormwood spirit. That makes that is a spirit that errs, that makes them bitter. That's the wormwood that's already fell on the earth. They're still saying, oh, it's going to hit us, going to hit us. What are you guys waiting for? Nothing's hitting us. The only thing that's going to possibly is brimstone. Somehow he can toss brimstone at us. I don't know how. And it is a small number that will complete them. Those who possess the body of the mind and the mind of the light of the Spirit, they will keep their mind from impure practice. You see, you may be tested, but you didn't practice it. By doing the sin out, then you really sin. You're going to be tested. Not one man on this earth, even Job was tested, and he was righteous. You're going to be tested until the day you leave. That's the way it works. For many in this race of natures will seek the security of the power. They will not find it. There will be no light given in these days, nor will they be able to do the will of faith. Listening to a false teacher, it's going against faith. Praying over everything physical all the time, over and over and over, is against faith. Wearing a cross, a molten image, is against faith. Listening to false doctrine, you're being baptized with demons. That's why you got to know them by their fruit. If you can't tell Joyce Meyer's a false teacher when you've been told and warned many times, and you keep listening to her for your salvation, you don't have it. You never did. I listened to 13 false teachings he did, and I found 18. And the guy only found 13 himself. That's a 5-minute video on her. For they are the seed of the universal darkness. Their father is them, that dark star. That's what's running them. And those who find them are in much suffering. Yet, how do they not show it? Because it could be subsided in them. You don't see it, and they look like they're getting better, and they think that they are. But they're still in this falsehood. The winds and the demons will hate them, and bondage of the body is severe. For where the winds and the stars and the demons cast forth from the power. I showed you one of light doing that today, but I have one, I've tried to send one to Junior of the dark ones doing it. They do the same thing. And when it's time to go in them, that star will come down and disappear. When it disappears going down, it's going into somebody. They can shrink. They can be big, they can be giant, and they can shrink. They can shrink to the small of a mustard seed. You can't see them. So, and the demons cast forth from the power of the Spirit, their repentance and testimony will appear upon them, and mercy will lead them to unbegotten spirit. And those who are repentant will find rest in the consummation and faith. They're not repenting from it. They're still doing it. That's why he said on the book of come on, Rod. Paul, the Apocalypse of Paul. I know until they repent and come to me, and he says it over and over and over, and they never do. The door's locked on that spiritual aspect. The ark door is closed, guys. The spiritual ark door is closed. That's why people are being filled with what spirit they have today, because it's going to happen very soon, where the rest of them are going to, then the fullness of them is going to fall. It's going to come and get them. So what spirit are you? So in the place of the human, I'm not putting the rest, because that's what it means. So this is the faith which will fill the places which have been dug out, emptied. But those who do not share in the spirit of light and in faith will dissolve in the darkness in the place where repentance did not come. That's what I just said. Well, no, I'm listening and I can get good out of this teacher, yet he's a false teacher. An evil tree cannot give off good fruit. How much more do they have to be told? You're listening to a false teacher. You will become that evil tree that you always were anyway. So it is I who open the eternal gates. Me. It is I. Remember, it's Hashem, which were shut from the beginning. Your angel opens that. All you do is give it light. And as it's going up, it's hitting gates. Many firmaments it has to go through. There's not just one firmament. Each ladder stair is a gate. 1, 2, 3. They can't get past that. So they're trapped in there thinking that they're good, yet they're subsiding their demons with what little good that they think they're doing until the end. When they become that darkness, they'll be going, oh, I should have listened to that one that told me these were false teachers. That's why you must tell them. When someone said to me they wear rosary and beads, I went, whoa, you're wearing a demon. I didn't say it like that. I said I would throw that in the garbage. But you're wearing a porthole to demons. It is I who opened the eternal gates, which were shut from the beginning. When you came down, you were shutting the gates behind you. You were shoving the gates of truth behind you and forgetfulness. Okay. To those who long for the best of life and those who are worthy of the repose, he revealed them, I granted, perception to those who perceive. I disclosed to them in all thoughts and the teaching of the righteous ones. See, being baptized, this is how you be baptized. This is the water. They think they're being baptized by water on earth and listening to false teachers. All the demons are going to do is subside inside you. They're not going to leave you. They're not going to be active until the time comes. And that's what's happening with them today. They think that the demons are hiding in them and they're not revealing themselves. Why? Because they're waiting to reveal itself when it's time. They got a job to do. They got to swallow up all the false teaching people that listen to that word and consume them. It's consuming them. It's not adding light to them. And it must needs, offense must needs be. But woe to the one who offends. They're offending the whole kingdom right now, saying that they're of God. If you don't know who Jesus, God, the Father, the other Father, the Father, Mother, the Son, and the Holy Spirit is, Jesus, Nazareth, Christ, if you don't know these things, you're still blind. And if you think that your body was made by the Father, never came out of it. I'm talking about the Creator. They think the Creator created their body. They made themselves as God by doing that. A bad God. And that's at the beginning of the Bible. So they haven't even got past the first pages of the Bible yet to grow very much. You see that? They don't really even grow to the third. They're wandering, holding on to the ladder, going, oscillating back and forth. And their demons are hiding in them. And they're not growing out of the muck and mire. And it did not become their enemy at all, the righteous ones, the teachings of the righteous one, and I did not become their enemy at all. When I had entered the wrath of the world, that's your flesh, it puts wrath on you. If you don't think you're in wrath, why is all the suffering, pains, and afflictions come to God's people? Because the Spirit doesn't like this body. And the body's going to cause wrath on you all the time. And all that does for me is chase me to the good. And when I endured, see, that's the evil part of Jesus in us. Not saying Jesus is evil. That's the Zeus, which would mean the human, which would mean the demon, which would mean the star it's connected to. And that's oblivion. the destroyers. When I endured the wrath of the world, I was victorious there. I was victorious. There was not one of them who knew me. My wife doesn't. She's back into not believing what I'm teaching now. Well, your teaching keeps changing. That's because you keep growing. She doesn't even understand that. The gates of the fire and the smoke open against me. Evil gates opened against you. All the winds rose up against me. That's what's happening. All of them right now. All around me. The thunderings are the lightning flashes for a time will rise up against me, and they will bring their wrath upon me on the account of me according to the flesh. All the judgment will come to you according to the flesh. So you can beat the flesh down because it hurts your flesh. I'll tell you right now, sometimes when I sin, I have things in my flesh get really painful. They will rule because why? It's hooked to those demons. They can control your pain. They can cause you pain if you do evil. You've opened up the door to that to cause whatever it does in your body part. They will rule over them according to kind. What kind of seed are they? If you were born into a black seed, you can't change it. That's your kind. That's alien towards the Father Creator. And we are alien on the earth because we're just passers-by. This is not our earth. And many who wear erring flesh will go down to the harmful waters through the winds and the demons. See, that's what's happening now. This is the fowler's snare talked about at the end time. They are in flesh teaching. It's horrible. False doctrine, 90%, 97% of them are teaching false doctrine. That's a lot. And they are bound by the waters. Water can't bind you. Evil binds them. And he will heal with a futile remedy. You see, he's healing them. He will do signs and wonders so that they think that that's God. Like this one told me, I heard from this church pastor somebody was sitting in a wheelchair, and in a couple months they were walking around like they were free from their body and from the sickness of their body. So he can heal, but he cannot resurrect. He will lead astray, and he will bind the world, but he'll do things that they'll think that this is a church to go to. This guy got healed for a showing to suck them in. This is the fowler snare that's here right now. It's the church. It's nothing else but the church, the false church. That's a huge fowler snare. That's the worst one. You might as well be out murdering, killing, and raping. It's the same thing. Worse, because it's killing the souls. But that's meant to be. Like the Bible says, woe to the one offense comes by. But it's made to happen because it's a vacuum swallowing up the dirt, the sand, the clay, which means the demons. The demons are sucking in the demons. And I have it in my life, and I see her every weekend, okay? They think they're doing good. I'm going to grab a drink. Hold on. They just can't see good from evil or evil from good, actually. And it's made to happen because it's going to swallow them all up. Who owns what star? That star is going to swallow them, whether it's good or evil. All at one time, really soon. It's already happening, but it's all going to fall. It's giving them most of their spirit to walk the earth. When it's time, the full shadow will come down and our full light will come down at one time. And those that do the will of nature, their part will be 2 times in the day of water and the forms of nature. She does a lot in false teaching. They study it day and night, thinking they're studying the word of the Lord. You see that? Through the Lord and all the good, it's trapping the evil. Because it gives them some good and some bad. It's too mixed. And it will not be granted them when faith disturbs them in order to take herself the righteous one. They won't be able to take the bride, the Mary Magdalene. When Jesus kissed Mary Magdalene, it was because he loved her more, because she went through more evil. And she held it tighter. It wasn't kiss, it was love. I just got a message here. I got to keep checking it. So it's the spirit that they cannot take anyways. They rejected her, so it has no place to go. O Shem, but never was. O Shem, it is necessary that the mind be called by the word in order that the bondage of power of the spirit may be saved from this frightful water. The wormwood water, bitterness. And his blessedness, if it is granted someone to contemplate the exalted one and to know the exalted time and the bondage. For the water is an insignificant body, and men are not released since they are bound in the water, just as a form, the beginning of light of the spirit was bound. You see, that wormwood water. He fed them wormwood and gall. He gave them, the evil gave them what they were. And it looks righteous. That's how Satan works. He's in every church, any building. Any building that they're teaching from is a false teaching building. That's why he said, I don't go in buildings with hands and walls. Doesn't mean all the people are. It means some of them just don't know yet. That teacher in every building is a demon. O Shem, they are deceived by manifold demons, thinking that through baptism with the uncleanliness water, with the worm water, with the false, with the air water that makes them err because they have a spirit that errs, and so does their pastor. They're all demons teaching each other demons, saying they love each other, saying they're of God, but they don't know who anything is above. All the sinners will never know the heavens. And to me, I want to know the heavens. I don't care about the earth. It's going to get swallowed up. That which is dark, feeble, and idle. It's not even moving, yet it's portraying that it's doing God's work. It's still idle. It's done nothing. And disturbing. He will take away the sins, and they will do not know that form, that water too. The water there is bondage. This is the wormwood water. And error and unchastity, envy, murder, adultery, false witnesses, heresies, robbers, lust, babbling. That's all in these Christians. And it's subsided. A lot of it's subsided because it's snared them and it's hiding in them, letting them do what they're doing to take away who is evil, the vacuum. Babbling, wrath, bitterness. Great, there are many deaths which burden their minds, for foretell it to those who have a heart. They will refrain from the impure baptism. You see, that only happens in the false church. And Islam and Muslims, you get it? They're all Muslims. If you're in a church building, you're a Muslim. You're praying down. You're praying to the wrong gods. You're believing your flesh was born here, first of all. You haven't even gone up a stairwell. Your flesh has never been born of the good. It's all evil. It's the Zeus of your body. It's the Haman, the man, the flesh, beast. This person that I know said the number of the beast isn't coming for another 100 years. I won't be here. And I'm thinking, oh my God, you are really deceived by the false church. That's what they're made to do. And if you keep staying in it, you are the false church. Impure baptism by wormwood water, not heavenly water, by dark fire water, not by God the Father, the Creator's water. And those who take heart from the light of the Spirit will not have dealings with impure practice. How many books talk about false doctrine? You're starting to notice now it's everywhere, eh, Junior? In all the books. And yet they still do it. Hypocrites go where weeping and gnashing of teeth of. Their impure false church doctrine is taught about so much because it happened before we even became in flesh. It's the number one snare before the earth was even created. And their heart will be willix with the impure practice, and their heart will not expire. You see that? It's not ready yet to expire. It needs be. They are an offense to me. False doctrine, everyone with it. I'd rather hang out with my eviler friends that don't practice anything at all. It's better than the false doctrine. When she came over last night, unsurprisingly, I'm tired, I'm going to bed. I didn't want to hear her false prayer. Once she said Joyce Meyer, I was gone again. You just keep revealing who you are by who you're listening to. Nor will they curse. Hey, you see, they look like they're getting, this is what I just explained. This is what the pre-baptism does to them at these end times. It makes them look, it gives them a false look. Yep. That's what I know. You will be sent to the most uttermost darkness, into the very bottomless pit where your suffering could be someone that's in another. There's 7 parts of the pit. Someone that's in the top is not going to suffer merely much is the false doctrine and false pastors and preachers and teachers. They're going to be suffering the most because remember, I said to you, that happened and that's what made us fall. Not us, but them. Before the earth was here. And God warned Adamus, us, don't listen to it. Don't listen to the tree of evil and good, which is the Bible. There's a lot of good in it, but boy, the most important stuff is God's name's changed. There should be no God, period. It should be the all. God is the all. He's everywhere at one time, omnipresent. He can see through all. And their heart won't expire because it's not ready yet. It's the fowler's snare. This is the end time. This is exactly how Revelation should be taught. This is what's happening at the end. These false ones are being filled, thinking that they have all this other stuff gone from them, yet it hasn't moved. The bitterness, the lust, and the babblings. Why does it say babbling? Because that's all they do. And they're hiding. All these evils are hiding because they haven't taken them out. And they're hiding on purpose so that they can keep taking each other out. We have no blood on our hands. Because afterwards, when we take off the demon, there's no blood that comes out of a demon. Nor were they cursed. They stopped all the things that they did. But deep inside, the one's got to keep. She's 40-some years old and got to keep a light on at nighttime. I wonder why. When I go to sleep at night, I go to good dreams. What's going on when you go to sleep to have your light on when you're 43 years old? What are you scared of? You have fear. So in the water will they be given honor where the curse is? They're cursed. And they're giving honor to a curse. There is the deficiency. And the blindness is where the honor is. They're honoring wrong gods. Flesh. A church building is flesh. It's owned by Satan. You're honoring flesh. They say you have to love thy neighbor. You have to love yourself, your flesh. No. This book says don't love your flesh. So does the Bible. If you are honoring your flesh, you're honoring Zeus. That is the false Jesus. Okay? That's what I tried to say the other day, and I didn't come out right with it, so I corrected myself. For if they mix with the evil ones, the false church, they become empty, dark water. You see, it's all just a fowler's snare. You mix with the false doctrine and keep listening to it, you're going to end up bitter when it comes out of you. Because you will be subsided. What I talked about showed you what's subsiding in them. Wrath, bitterness, evil, swearing, cursing, lust. It's all not showing its head. But yet it's still in them. That's the wormwood. You can't notice it. Wormwood is the false church. And they can't notice it. They think it's right. But it's not. For where the water has been mentioned, there is nature. Wormwood. And the oath and the lie and the loss. For only the unbegotten Spirit, where the exalted light rested, where you're resting, has the water not been mentioned, nor can it be mentioned. The truth is the water. It can be mentioned. That's why it's in every building. 97 to, I'm going to say 92 to 7% of the world is going to be taken away. Probably 90% because there's that 10%. So I'm just guessing. I don't know. But I know that there'll be no hope and no faith. It says it in your Bible. It says no faith. It says no spirit. It says no light in the days. He won't give the light anymore. The doctrine has shut up. The true doctrine is really rarely to be out there. I'm not saying I'm the only one, so don't think I'm sitting here bragging about nothing. I don't brag. It's not a bragging. I know someone keeps leaving and coming back to my channel to try to hurt me. No, if it was meant to be, you were meant to leave the channel. Why will it hurt me anymore? doesn't hurt me. I'm not considered I don't care about how many numbers I have in. That's not what I'm looking for. For this is my appearance when I have completed the time. See, he has to fill them with the darkness, right? He has to fill us with light and them with darkness before it can happen. And that's what's happening right above your head. Complete the times. Everything, the good and the evil, has to come to the full. That's why it's in the church. It's the worst of all. We woke up. We woke up. You didn't wake up. Your demon did. Which are assigned to me upon the earth. You complete it all here on the earth. If you don't complete the filling of the light, you'll be darkness. If you don't complete the filling of the darkness, it'll complete it. And you won't know it. Then I will cast from me my garment of fire, and my uncoiled garment will come forth upon me. Your virgin, your God, your Christ, your fullness, your harvest angel, your flower of your youth, your virgin. That's the garment that's going to come on people really soon. And also the garment, and you threw off the old man, which is the fire garment. And also the garments which I put on in all the clouds. That's the garment. Your garment comes from above, and your cloud's putting it on, but your flesh doesn't. No, your flesh is just doing what your star and cloud is doing. And it's a part of what's up in the full, your full garment. Your star, as it's growing, is being put on the garment, which were from the astonishment of the Spirit. For the air will tear my garment. Yeah. For in my garment will shine. Your garment is your glorified body, is your God, is your Christ, is your wholeness. And it's putting it on the middle star as it grows up. It has to grow. It can't sit in the muck and mire like the church is doing. And will divide all the clouds up to the root of light. Your root is in the heavens of heavens. The repose in the mind of my garment and my remaining garments, those of on the left and those on the right will shine on back in order that the image of the light may appear. For the garments which I put on in the tree, in the three clouds, 1, 2, 3. In the last day, they will rest in their root, you see, and the evil will rest in their root. In the unbegotten spirit, since they were without fault through the division of the clouds. You are not with fault. So if you sinned and he saved you from your sin, why is it saying you're not at fault? It's because it's your flesh. It's your deficiency part. It sinned. If you come out of it, you never sinned. You weren't divided. Your angel's the one that suffered the most, going back and forth, oscillating back and forth, fighting this fight, as well as you are. You suffer pretty much as your angel does down here. I know, because I went through it hundreds of times. Therefore, I have appeared being faultless. You didn't sin. If he died for your sins and you didn't sin, how could he die for your sins? You were faultless the whole time. You just came down here to help, and that covers you. And you never sinned. It was your flesh. For it's not me that sins, it's my flesh. That's in the Bible. And that's why they reject Paul, because they don't want you to know that. They want you to think that you're a sinner. We didn't come to save the sinners. We come to help them. That's another false teaching in the Bible. You are faultless. Never does it talk about that in these books. You were faultless. It was your flesh, and you've overcame it, so it's all forgotten. It was all forgotten before the earth even started, finished on the cross. When Jesus went on the cross, we were all on the cross with him. That's what this book says. We all go through the cross. On the account of the clouds, because they were unequal in the order the wickedness nature might be ended. See, the wickedness never gets their sin forgiven because that's what they're here to do, including the false church. That's what they're here to do with the most wickedness in them. For she wished at the time to snare me. Ha 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 ha. The best way to snare him is saying, I love Jesus, coming in his name. That has snared more people on the earth than anybody. Allah, Buddhism. If you're going to a church building in Canada or America, you might as well go to a Buddhist church or a mosque. It's the same thing. That's where the devil's best place is to sit and snare people. And false doctrine is wormwood. I got to use the washroom. Give me a sec. See, I'm going through a trial. I'm being tried right now for the last 3 days. And I'm discarding it pretty quickly. So she was established Solas, Satan, Shiva was established, who is the dark flame, who attended on the evil of error. I don't know, is missing, because some of them are missing, some pieces. So there it tells you they're established before they were even put in the body, that he might snare me. She took care of her faith, being vainglorious. There you go. So this is the way we give glory to our Father, our God, our heaven, to all, in the all, by the truth, by true words, by teaching truth. Vainglory is going to a church building and listening to false teaching. They're not glory. Glory happens with not seeing. You don't see the glory you're giving. This is it. It's giving it to your angel up above your head. And it's filling it full of light. Yet your body still wants to do evil all the time. That's vainglory. their false prayer, they're wearing crosses, them listening to the wrong teachers, you're not glorifying the heavens at all. You're going up against it, not knowing it. Everything's subsiding in you, not showing it. But inside, I can guarantee these people are fighting wickedly not to show it. And at the time, the light was about to separate from the darkness. That's where we're at. And a voice was heard in the world saying, "Blessed is the eye," not the eyes, "which has seen thee." Your eye has seen it. I have seen it with my eyes and my body. It's exactly like the angels in the cloud. I was telling that to my wife, and she was turning her head away, ignoring that, doesn't want to hear what comes out of my mouth, but wants to go to a false building. Well, they gave a good sermon. Oh, I hate when she comes home and does that. They do it on purpose. Oh, one came last night and said she listens to Joyce Meyer. Did that on purpose to come up against you, to see if you would see. That's the devil trying to snare you by going, yeah, she's a false teacher. You can't keep telling the person that. It's like I block my ear and I go to bed. Thee and the mind which has supported thy majesty at my desire, it will be said, the exalted one is all of us, because we're all one. Blessed is Robiel among every race of men, for it is you, feminine, alone, who have seen, and shall we listen. The spirit, which is you, she, it's not. You're a she and a he. You're not either. See, it's your she will tell you, get out, false teaching, and you'll never go back or even say a word. I do to Marmar. I give him a hard time because he's horrible. And I'm allowed to. I'm not judging. I am. You're allowed to judge the evil ones. Did you know that? It tells you that if the sword is coming and you don't warn the people, I'm trying to warn the people to get out of there and give him a hard time. Literally. Tried to make him get out of his blindness and get out of the false teaching. Maybe hoping that he will, but you can't in this day. It's locked into them. And they will behead the woman spiritually. They're beheading us. Islam's taken over. And Islam is the whole world, Sodom and Gomorrah. It said the Persians would take over, and they are. Who has the perception, who will reveal upon the earth. See, that's why they're chopping our head off. No, I'm listening to this one. I'm doing this. They do everything in every angle to throw it out at you. I listened to Joyce Meyer last night and relax. Yeah, you listen to the devil. And according to my will, she will bear witness. See, you're bearing witness to a false teacher. You're bearing witness to the devil, and they don't even know it. And she will cease from every vain effort of nature and chaos. He shall not give his light. We shall not give our light in this day. It says Jesus shall not give his light. No, we are him. We aren't given the light. It's 3 days of darkness, guys. It's not talking about physical darkness here. For the woman who they will behead at that time is the coherence of the power of the demon, who will see, we're in co-air with the demon because the demon's giving you the light. You're taking it back from them. You need those darkness to take back your light. And we're in coherence with them, but not for them. We are against them. Our flesh is for the power of the demon, who will baptize the seed of darkness in severity, which is they're being baptized in wormwood. That's wormwood. That the seed may mix with unchastity. He begot a woman. She was called Rubiel. See, O Shem, how all the things I have said to you have been fulfilled. And the thing which you lack according to my will, they will appear to you at the place upon the earth, that you may reveal them as they are. Do not let your mind be dealing with the body. Eh? Soon as your mind starts saying, well, do this evil, and then you do it, you just done that, sinned. Notice how it doesn't say sin. He says, don't let the mind listen and do what the body wants. For I have said these things to you through the voice of fire, through evil. For I entered through, you see, how he is the good and the evil. Jesus, you are the good and evil. Jesus is referred to as the children of the Father. He is, just like I said, his name is the same thing as saying Israelite inside. But body must die. For I entered through the midst of the clouds, through that fighting, and you're stealing back from the demon that you're cohorsing with until you kill him fully. And that's when you come out of the body. So he's going to still test you, is what cohorsing means. Testing your faith is what that means. Your faith is going to be tested until the last day and hour. And I spoke according to the language of each one. This is my language which I spoke to you, and it will be taken from you, and you will speak with the voice of the world. That's them. Yeah, you're to love your flesh like your neighbor. No, you're not. Your spirit wars against the flesh. Does that tell you to love it? No, but I love my inner me. Like, it's been showing in me because I've been given mercy I've finished talking to my best friend since I was 9 years old because he kept attacking me. And he called me back and he said, I really do love you, brother. I really do miss you. And I said, I love you too. I do love him. Maybe I'm to go there and just walk and not do anything wrong. He sits there and swears, F this, F that on the phone. I don't, Maybe sometimes you're just there to be around the evil, to show them, not go and start acting like you're all godly. Just walk it. Because I have dreams about this guy still, guys. I keep having hopes for him. See, I have hopes for them. For some of them, God separated me from, and I'm never even going to do that. And one of them is my mother. Upon the earth, and I will appear to you with that appearance and that voice, all that I have said to you. Henceforth, proceed with faith. Henceforth, you're going to keep getting tested with false doctrine, with sins, all the way. And keep your faith that you're not going to do the sin. That's what I said this morning. That one's been gone from me. I'm not going to do it. And I walked away from it. To shine in the depths of the world. Sometimes you can't shine by your mouth. Shine by how you walk. And I, Shem, awoke as if from a long sleep. I marveled when I received the power of light and the whole mind. And his whole mind. See, that's his angel. And I proceeded with faith to shine with me, you see. That's him, his Lord, his spirit talking to him. And the righteous one followed us with my invincible garment. See, it's invincible. Yet you're still being tested, and you still might do the odd thing, but it's still invincible. If you didn't do it and say, I am going to do it, I'm going to be saved anyway. There's a different story there. And all that he had told me would happen upon the earth happened. Yeah, I went through it, and you'll go through it to be a witness. The only way that you can be a witness is if you saw it spiritually and physically on the heavens, and you saw it in the earth. Nature was headed over to faith, that faith might overturn her, and that nature might stand in the darkness. Your flesh is the nature. It never leaves darkness. It has to go into the pit. She brought forth a spirit which separated itself, in which wanderers night and day without receiving rest with the souls. These things completed her deeds, good and evil. If you can catch the evil and not do it physical, see, if everybody was perfect in their mind, they wouldn't even be tested. Job was righteous, and he was tested with evil. Doesn't mean because it came to your mind you sin. If you keep thinking of it all day and you can't get out of it and you're stuck in it and you keep doing it, then you do the practice. You've sinned physically and spiritually, which is just spiritually. And I rejoiced, the mind of light. I came forth from the darkness and I walked in faith. You have to come out of the darkness to get into the marvelous light, which is faith, where the forms of nature are, up to the top of the earth, to the things which are prepared. See, they prepare, all evil's prepared itself. The Father wanted it to suck its own self up like a vacuum. Faith is upon the earth the whole day. For all night and day, she surrounds nature to take herself, the righteous one. Didn't say Jesus took herself. We kicked off the harlot whore. The harlot whore got off the beast. That's why the beast wants to kill her. For nature is burdened, and she is troubled, the harlot whore. So these ones that are fake teaching behind the scenes, I don't even imagine what they're going through. For none will be able to open the forms of the door except the mind alone, who was entrusted with their likeness, with your own likeness. For frightful is their likeness of the two forms of nature, the one which is blind. See, if they don't come out of their blindness, their nature is of the world. Well, that's what the Bible does. That's why they still keep teaching in it. It keeps them blind. Unless you know how to read it. It takes a lot of years. All right, guys, I'm going to jump off. I'm going to go for a sleep. I was up early, and then I'm going to come back on. So God bless, or you're blessed. I was almost going to say it. Love you guys. See you in a bit.